Thousands of years ago, before the pyramids of Egypt pierced the sky, before the might of Babylon rose from the dust, there was Sumer. But according to their own astonishing writings, they didn't build their world alone. They claimed their teachers, their gods, their very creators, came from the sky, the Anunnaki. Were these stories just myth, or memories of something extraordinary? In this episode, we explore the mysterious origins of humanity's first civilization, decode ancient tablets, and uncover theories connecting the Sumerians to beings from beyond the stars. Could humanity's first great leap forward have been guided or even engineered by visitors from another world? Our story begins in the Fertile Crescent, the cradle of civilization. Around 6,000 years ago, in the land of Mesopotamia between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, a civilization unlike any before it suddenly appeared. This was Sumer. From what seems like a historical vacuum, they emerged with a fully formed system of writing known as cuneiform complex legal codes that governed society, sophisticated agricultural techniques that fed their growing cities, and a breathtakingly advanced understanding of astronomy. Scholars and historians to this day are left grappling with a profound question. How did such a complex and advanced culture emerge almost overnight, with seemingly no gradual period of development? The Sumerians themselves had a clear and unwavering answer. Inscribed on countless clay tablets, they told us, "The gods taught us." They insisted that everything they knew, everything they built, was a gift from divine beings who descended from the heavens. So, who were these celestial teachers? The Sumerians called them the Anunnaki. In their ancient epic poems and religious texts, the Anunnaki are described as a pantheon of immensely powerful beings who descended from heaven to earth. These were not distant, ethereal spirits. They were depicted as physical beings who walked among humans, established order, and laid the foundations of civilization. The tablets claim they brought humanity the essential tools for progress, that they surveyed and measured the earth with divine precision, and that they taught our ancestors how to construct the first great cities, complete with towering ziggurats that reached for the heavens from which they came. But the story takes an even more radical turn. Some interpretations of these ancient texts suggest a narrative far more shocking than just divine tutelage. Passages in works like the Atrahasis epic describe the Anunnaki facing a labor crisis and deciding to create a primitive worker to serve them. According to these translations, they performed what can only be described as genetic experiments, fashioning the first humans, Homo sapiens, to toil in their mines and build their cities. This wasn't a story of benevolent gods creating humanity in their image out of love. It was a pragmatic, almost industrial act of creation. The idea is staggering, that humanity was engineered to be a slave race for extraterrestrial masters. When we examine the artifacts the Sumerians left behind, the mystery only deepens. Carved into ancient stone reliefs across Mesopotamia, we see powerful, godlike figures carrying what has become known as the Bag of the Gods. To a modern eye, these objects bear an uncanny resemblance to a briefcase or a toolkit. Are they merely symbolic containers of divine law and power, as mainstream archaeology suggests? Or could they represent something far more literal, a piece of advanced technology carried by the Anunnaki? Alongside this, we often see these beings holding a mysterious object that looks remarkably like a pine cone. Dubbed the pine cone of life, some researchers speculate it represents the pineal gland, the third eye of spiritual enlightenment. Others, however, point to its resemblance to the double helix structure of a DNA molecule, suggesting it symbolizes the Anunnaki's mastery over the very building blocks of life. Was this ancient symbolism, or a literal depiction of genetic knowledge? Perhaps the most compelling piece of evidence lies in their understanding of the cosmos. The Sumerians possessed an incredibly detailed and accurate map of our solar system. Their celestial charts not only included the planets visible to the naked eye, but also correctly depicted Uranus and Neptune. This is a scientific impossibility for their time. These distant planets are so faint they were not officially discovered by modern science until the invention of powerful telescopes in the 18th and 19th centuries. How could an ancient civilization have known of their existence, let alone their relative positions? The Sumerians had an answer. The Anunnaki showed them. Their cosmic map even included a 12th celestial body, a massive, undiscovered planet they called Nibiru, which they claimed was the home world of the Anunnaki themselves. These baffling artifacts and texts have given rise to groundbreaking, if controversial, modern theories. Leading this charge was the author Zecharia Sitchin, who spent decades translating Sumerian cuneiform tablets. He proposed a detailed and explosive narrative that the Anunnaki were astronauts from Nibiru, a planet with a long elliptical orbit that brings it into our inner solar system every 3,600 years. According to Sitchin, they first came to Earth hundreds of thousands of years ago in search of gold, a mineral they needed to repair their home planet's deteriorating atmosphere. To mine this precious metal, they created a workforce by combining their own advanced DNA with that of the most evolved hominids on Earth at the time, likely Homo erectus. This genetic intervention, he argued, was the true origin of Homo sapiens, a hybrid species born to serve. Critics, of course, dismiss Sitchin's work and similar theories as pseudoscientific misinterpretations. Mainstream academia firmly holds that the Anunnaki were simply the mythological gods of a Bronze Age religion, personifications of natural forces and societal principles. They argue that translating ancient myth as literal history is a fundamental error, and that there is no physical evidence to support the existence of Nibiru or an ancient alien visitation. They contend that the Sumerian creation stories are allegories for humanity, as struggle to tame nature and build society, not a factual account of genetic engineering by extraterrestrials. And yet, one must ask, can myth, passed down through millennia, hold fragments of a forgotten, earth-shattering truth? Legends often begin with a kernel of reality, distorted and embellished over time. Perhaps there are other explanations that bridge the gap between myth and science. Maybe the Anunnaki were not extraterrestrial beings at all, but a different kind of other. Could they have been the highly advanced survivors of a lost, even older human civilization? A culture like Atlantis, wiped out by a global cataclysm whose remnants sought to restart humanity. In this view, they weren't gods from the stars, but teachers from a forgotten chapter of our own history, their advanced knowledge seeming magical to the primitive tribes they encountered. Or perhaps the stories are entirely metaphorical, representing a sudden leap in human consciousness, a cognitive revolution where abstract thought, complex language, and societal structure blossomed not from external guidance, but from a mysterious, internal awakening. Or perhaps the simplest, most astonishing explanation is the true one. Perhaps our origins really do reach beyond the stars, and the myths of our most ancient ancestors are not just stories, but a faded memory of our creation. What do you believe? Was Sumer's brilliance born of human ingenuity alone, or was it a gift from the heavens? Were the Anunnaki gods, men, or something else entirely? And if they did create us, one final, chilling question remains. Could humanity's creators still be watching us?